there is still hail in pockets on the ground. Here's a big batch. Good morning, guys. So with how well my gardening season has been going, I've had some really good luck this year. The garden may have took a turn in the last 24 hours. I am literally filming this the next morning after I just filmed the September garden tours the following morning. So last night, what ended up happening was there was a storm, and I didn't really think too much of the storm, to be honest. I just knew we kind of looked like we might get some rain from it. And next thing I know, I got done with dinner, I sat down, and then I got an alarm on my phone that said there was baseball size hail in the path of us. And I was like, baseball size hail? Like, what are you talking about? Like, that is significant hail. Like, I haven't seen that big of hail. I've seen some big hail, but nothing to that degree. So then I think it was maybe 15 minutes later, the storm started. We did not get baseball size hail, but we did get hail for about 8 to 9 minutes. Like, it was just under 10 minutes of straight hail. It started off a little slow, but then it was downpouring hail. There is still pockets of ice and hail all over this garden still. It is crazy. And honestly, I'm not exactly sure what would really make it out of this. The pumpkin trellis, you guys, the poor pumpkin trellis. It is literally one of the things that's hit the most. The vines are just shredded. I went through late last night, and I went to see if any of my bell peppers were damaged. So I figured those, since they were bigger, they might be. I did have 3 or 4 that had holes in them. I need to look a little closer at the loofah and things like that, but I do know that there's a few pumpkins, some younger pumpkins that look like they're pretty damaged. I don't know if the pumpkin plant is really going to rebound or not. They say if the roots are intact, that's one thing, but like the whole plant is shredded. Like, I don't see a single leaf that wasn't affected, and I don't think these plants will really stay green that long. So I don't know. The plan for this morning is to simply go around and grab what I can. I never grabbed more yesterday other than those cayennes. I only harvested those cayennes. Like, this, I wasn't expecting this storm at all. So I did not get out here beforehand and was able to harvest. So that is what we're gonna do. See, look how shredded. Just shredded. A lot of the plants where the foliage is all cut back might rebound a little bit, but with how dark our current season is and how shaded this garden is, I don't know if much will honestly rebound. I think the tomatoes might be the goner, but I was planning on using, let's see, there's a nick in that one from some hail. Hi, honey. That one has hail damage. More hail damage. Some of the plants over here didn't get hit as bad. Like, they're definitely still hit. Like, the amount of foliage and stuff in this bed and what they look like compared to yesterday. But these ones might actually end up rebounding. They actually have a good amount of foliage on them, and they don't look absolutely terrible. It's probably because this big tree probably helped shield them a little bit. So I'm just gonna grab the red jalapenos from over here real quick. Oh yeah, this definitely ended up losing some branches. This is the one yesterday I showed you that was taller, or just as tall as me. Wow, where did the rest of that go? Do you think the guy that invented pebble ice got the concept from a hailstorm? Because I'm telling you, the texture is almost identical. That's what that one looks like. That one got hit pretty good. The before and after of these tomatoes is absolutely crazy. There's just snapped limbs everywhere, and there's only a few tomatoes really left on these too. You can see all of the bruising that's already happening to them. So we'll see what we can grab off of these and what's damaged and what's not. Yeah, these pepper plants just got completely knocked. It's like I missed a bell last night from over here. I was just saying I might get some corn. I don't know if I'm gonna get corn anymore. Heck yeah. Well, I think I at least got some corn. It looks like chopped lettuce. Chopped lettuce. This one here was one of the small ones that just set. Yeah, that's definitely gone. Looks like this one got a lot of leaves on it. That one's really close. I'm sure I could peel that. All of these bigger ones look fine. I just don't know what the vine is gonna do, to where I might just need to go ahead and process these anyway. I think I'm gonna leave everything else for now. I don't really have high hopes for a lot of it, to be completely honest, but I wanna give it the benefit of the doubt. I wanna see what these plants look like once we get some sun on them, because they are starting to look, I think, just that much worse as the sun starts to rise. I mean, a lot of these vines are just completely shredded. So I'll be really interested to see what they look like later. I'm gonna go ahead and work through the peppers and maybe green tomatoes. I might not get to the green tomatoes today. We will see. But I'm gonna go ahead and start working through some of this harvest. All right, here is everything we are currently working with. There's still some stuff outside there. Like I said, I didn't harvest everything, but this is everything I have harvested over the last 2 days. I harvested all this yesterday. So I do have bell peppers. I'm gonna go ahead and start with. I'm gonna wash these, slice these, and toss them into the freezer. Got 7 packs of ready to go peppers for a different stir fry and stuff. So instead of jumping to some of my other peppers, I'm going to jump to the green tomatoes, because I feel like this needs to be my next priority, especially with some of the ones that got beaten up. I don't want these to end up going bad. So I need to get these washed, and then I need to skin them. Last year I found a veggie peeler to work really, really good. The best way I can explain a green tomato is very much a texture just like an apple. I did a green tomato pie last year with tomatoes as well, and I loved both. I really wanted to play around with some green tomato recipes last year, so I'm really glad I did, because this will come in handy for a situation like today. So I'm gonna get a veggie peeler. I'm gonna get all of this stuff skinned and cored, and then I need 7 cups of this. And I ran to the store a little bit ago, so I have the cilantro and red onion that I need as well. It's been a very rainy and cool morning. I'm gonna try to knock out the jalapenos and do a batch of sriracha. I don't know when the freeze dryer is going to finish up. I want to say I got those loaded up around 7, 8, maybe 8:30 last night. So I think it's probably going to be pretty late before those are done, but I want to knock this out. I'm not exactly sure if I want to do another batch of hot sauce with the serranos right now, or if I just want to freeze dry those. I'm honestly thinking, now that I've seen the garden kind of sit for 24 hours, I might go through and harvest the rest of my peppers, because everything's looking like it's probably just done. So I have a lot more I will probably end up getting to, so I might just save these and do that then, but I do want to get to these today. All of my salsa turned out well. Sriracha is one of those things that I ferment for a week, so this won't be done for a week, but I do have a full video that you guys can reference if you're interested. I'm just gonna wash the peppers, and then I'm gonna get all these de-seeded. So I did end up using about half of the serranos. I thought I had more jalapenos than that, but I have 675 grams of de-seeded and topped peppers here. And to this, I'm going to add about 40 grams of garlic. I have 25 grams of salt, 30 grams of sugar, and then I have 115 of water. And now at this point, I'm gonna take my immersion blender and I'm gonna blend all of this up. I'm gonna put a fermentation lid on it and let it sit for about a week. Typically, I let these go about 7 days. Just taking a paper towel with a little bit of vinegar on it, and I'm going to clean up these sides here. Taking one of these fermenting lids here, and I'm gonna place it on the top. I have these linked in my Amazon. I'll have them linked down below for you guys. I'm gonna suck out as much air as I possibly can, and this will help release the CO2, and you can kind of just set it and forget it instead of having to make sure you're constantly burping your ferment. This in my cabinet here, and that is it. "2025 has been one of those years that the garden's like, when are you gonna give up?" Like, I've never had this many problems throughout the entirety of the whole season like I have had this year. It's been a very challenging year, and I feel like the garden's like, "Girl, when are you gonna quit?" We're gonna go ahead and wrap things up, I think. I gave it 48 hours, and the plants, guys, are not looking that hot. So, and honestly, this backyard shades out so much this time of year, and our daylight is getting significantly shorter every day. So I really don't expect like these things to really come back and thrive anyway. If anything, they're going to be trying to put more effort into rebounding than producing anything. So I'm going to go ahead and just harvest what I can and call it a day. I am gonna have like a chicken pile. I have this little pumpkin here I went ahead and grabbed. This one was on the edge and it got really hit, and you can see it's kind of scabbing over and it's starting to get like soft in areas. So I'm gonna make a pile for the chickens. I'm really interested about the pumpkins. I do think I'm gonna be able to get one more pumpkin that I can actually use myself, so that's exciting. Other than that, we have loofah. I did walk around a little bit yesterday when I went to check on the chickens when we had a little bit of time where it wasn't raining. It was pretty much raining all day yesterday. So there's a few other loofah that I missed when I initially looked at everything. And then we're just gonna see. Honestly, I really don't expect to be able to get like that much more. We'll see. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be honest with you. That one got a pretty good little gash in it. It's like, man, it feels chilly today. It's only 52 right now, which is really cold for us for the beginning of September, I feel like. This one took a crazy beating. See, this is why I wanted to go through and just harvest everything as well, because I figured I'd miss stuff. This whole pepper, that would have gone bad. I'm really glad I went through all those because there's definitely some nicks I didn't see that are now appearing, but that's the rest of the jalapenos and serranos off those plants. We honestly didn't have too much more on those. There's a hole right there on that one, and this one here is also just far too young to do any type of processing. That one was already kind of yellowing and turning brown, so that was pretty easy to get. Okay, so I'm taking a gamble on a few of these green ones. Like this one here, I think will be a little young, but we'll see. There's a little bit different texture to the skin. Like it's a bit tougher and thicker. This is very thin and feels more like your everyday zucchini. So there was, I would say probably 6 or 7 over there that had holes poked into them. I think I should be able to get all of these ones processed today, which will be really exciting. I think these ones, again, are just a little bit too young, so I might be able to cook with some of them, but I don't know if I'll be able to use all of those or not. I will also toss some of these to my chickens. I'm gonna actually go throw them a few of the damaged ones. This one pumpkin would have definitely been my biggest one. It is hefty. I was curious on if there was going to be more that weren't quite ready yet, and this is definitely one of them. The size of it and everything felt right, but then it did feel a little bit on the softer side, and the moment I started cutting into it, my knife went right through, and there has been not really a sponge form yet. You can see it's just really fleshy. So your green loofah does need to be on more of the mature side to be able to do this, but I'm going to do the oven method today to help release some of these skins. So when a loofah is green like this and it's a little bit more mature, this skin is really, really hard and this is really dense. I use a bread knife and I cut off both the ends of the loofah, and then I cut a slit going down one of the sides. Don't put your knife in there too deep though, because if you do, you're going to be cutting in to that sponge. And then at this point, I lay it on a cookie sheet with a cooling rack on top so it's not staying directly on that tray. And my oven is at 225, and I'm going to bake these for about an hour and a half. We're going to keep our eye on it. I'm going to work my way through these. So far, I've only found one that's on the immature side for this. I think I got 8. Into the oven they go. While I wait on those in the oven, I'm going to get these ready to get into the freeze dryer. So I'm actually going to de-seed the red serranos and all the green serranos. That way I can make a powder and make this into hot sauce months later on. I really enjoyed doing that last year. And then with all of these green cayennes and jalapenos, I'm going to make some more jars of these green chilies, and I think I'll save a few and then I will probably gift them out to friends and family as well, because again, I love this so much for chili, and it's a great easy way to get through a lot of peppers quick. All I do is wash the peppers, toss them into a blender and puree it a few times, and then into the freeze dryer they go. But I'm gonna get these de-seeded first and then I'll get to those. And I think I should be able to get all of this done before the loofahs are ready. I'm gonna let these sit and cool off for a little bit. Here is the rest of the peppers from the garden of 2025. We have all of our like little chopped up diced ones like that. And then this is red serranos and green serranos. Let's go get these loaded up. Smells just like a baked potato. I think I tried to push my limits a little bit with these two. They're really, really soft. I was thinking I was before I put them in, but I think it's clear that these ones probably weren't fully formed, but these ones all look good to go. So I'm just letting them cool off a little bit more. All right, I'm gonna open it up here. Look how pretty. Now I'm going to rinse out the seeds and all the pulp. I'm gonna go ahead and just cut out this spine portion the best I can. So I'm just cutting the middle portion out of the loofah. This is what holds the seeds. Beautiful. Now that the loofah is clean, I have it sitting in some vinegar and water here. I don't measure it too crazy, but it's probably close to a 1-to-10 ratio. I'm gonna let this sit for about 15 minutes and then I'll rinse everything off good one more time. I ended up only being able to get 4 of these out of the 8. 4 of the other ones were a little bit too young and they barely formed a sponge at all. And now you got yourself a sponge. That is how you process green loofah, as long as it's mature enough. And now I just set them over here until they're dry. Well guys, what a season. Jeez Louise. It is crazy how many ups and downs there has been. And honestly, it doesn't even feel like the beginning of September right now. It feels like the end of October because of how the garden is and how cool it is. It's another like 52-degree morning. It is very chilly. This almost feels like a first frost came through or something. But yeah, no, this is just the most bizarre year I have ever had. And here we are, 8 years into gardening. And at this point, I don't think anything could really surprise me. Only other time I've had hail with the garden was my very first year gardening. And it was, I think, the day after. My memory's a little blurry at this point, but I want to say it was the day after I planted everything. I always just hope it's never the beginning of the season, because at that point it really sets you back. But the amount of setbacks we had in this garden and then the devastating hail is just absolutely insane. Freeze dryer is finishing up. I want to say it still has like 3 hours to go from yesterday. I'm just going to get that stuff into jars and call it a day. As far as the green tomatoes go, my plan for that is to do either a green tomato pie again, or I might try to do like an apple strudel pie pastry type thing. I don't know what I want to do, but I think I'm gonna play around with that tomorrow. And then other than that, I don't think I have anything else. I really wasn't expecting anything else from the loofah. All those loofahs pretty much set in the last 2 or 3 weeks, so they were very young. I had a feeling that a lot of those I wouldn't be able to process, but I'm so glad I was able to process a few. That's fine. Having a lesser year has allowed me not to be completely burnt out by this point of the year, which honestly feels a little nice, just to have a little bit slower of a year, because the last few years I've gone really, really hard. And I've had no choice this year because the garden is just like giving me all it's got. It's not even the garden. Really, the garden was like great. It's just been the weather. Yeah, sorry, garden. It's just been the weather. The weather has been all over the place. It's been a cool and wet season all around this year. And then on top of it, just the hail. And then I had the herbicide damage. So it's been a year. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and leave you here. I wanted to say thank you so much for all the well wishes with the hail in the garden, and just for the whole entire year. You guys have been very supportive, so thank you so much. It's definitely been a tough season, but I hope you can see that everyone has tough seasons, and all of this was really out of my control. There wasn't a lot I could have done differently, be honest. At least I don't feel like there was. So this is just one of those years, and they happen. And I haven't had one of these years in a while. So thank you guys so much for being here today and watching. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye.